What if I told you there was a civilization so powerful that they literally carved their palaces out of mountains? A people so physically massive, their footprints are still found embedded in solid rock today.
We are its masters!
They looked up at the open sky and said,
We are the eternal masters of this realm!
"Who on this entire earth is more powerful than us?" And then, in just 7 nights and 8 days, every single one of them was gone. No survivors, no monuments, no trace, just sand, silence, and a warning that echoes all the way to our generation. This is the story of the people of Ad. And I promise you, by the time this video ends, you will never think about pride the same way again. Welcome back. Today, we're going deep into one of the most powerful and haunting stories from the Quran.
And to the people of Ad, we sent their brother Hūd. He said, "O my people, worship Allah. You have no God other than Him. You do nothing but fabricate lies against Allah."
The rise and total destruction of the nation of Ad. These were real people, a real civilization, with real cities, real power, and a real ending that should shake all of us to our core. So let's start from the beginning. After the time of Prophet Noah, peace be upon him, a new civilization began to rise. They were called Ad, and they made their home in a region known as Al-Ahqaf, a vast, ancient stretch of land located between what we know today as Yemen and Oman. Their city had a name that has been whispered across centuries, Iram Datul Imad. In English, that translates to the city of lofty pillars, a city so grand, so towering, so breathtaking in its architecture, that people said it seemed to be having a conversation with the sky. But forget the city for a second. Let's talk about the people themselves, because this is where the story gets truly extraordinary. The people of Ad were not built like ordinary human beings, not even close. Historical accounts and Quranic references describe them as physically enormous, towering mountain-like figures whose very presence commanded fear and respect. Their bodies were proportioned in ways that made regular men look like children standing next to them. Near ancient riverbeds and between mountain ranges, travelers and researchers have reported finding footprints pressed into the earth that no average human foot could have possibly made. Footprints that tell a story of a people who walked this earth with a weight and power we can barely imagine. Their doorways, the entrances to their homes, were built so high and so wide that a horse with its rider could walk straight through without either of them needing to bow their head. Their cooking pots were not ceramic, not clay. They were carved from solid stone. And they were so enormous that an entire extended family's meal could be cooked in a single pot. Their buildings were not constructed on top of mountains. They were carved directly into them. Entire palaces cut from living rock, with columns so tall they seemed to pierce the clouds above. And with all of that extraordinary power came something that always follows power when it goes unchecked. Extraordinary pride. The people of Ad did not just feel strong. They were completely and totally convinced that they were the greatest beings to ever walk the surface of this earth. In their social gatherings, in their grand council meetings, sitting among their finest and most powerful, they would say it out loud, without shame or hesitation: "People like us will never be born again." Their young men would stand in open valleys, spread their arms wide to the wind, and tell each other, "Look, even the wind follows the shape of our bodies." Their elders, seated comfortably in their marble halls, would lean back and boast, "Our grandfathers could change the direction of storms, There is no force in this world that can touch us. When a massive storm would appear on the distant horizon, dark clouds rolling toward them, wind already howling in the distance, the people of Ad did not flinch. They didn't prepare. They didn't seek shelter. They stood outside, pointed at the approaching storm, and laughed. The wind is with us. Whatever comes, it will hit our enemies, not us. They could not have been more tragically, catastrophically wrong. Because what they did not know, what their pride had completely blinded them to, was that the very wind they trusted so completely was already being prepared to destroy them. Now here is where Allah's mercy enters the story. Because Allah, in His infinite wisdom and compassion, never destroys a people without first sending them a clear warning, a messenger, an outstretched hand offering them a way out. And so He sent to Ad a prophet from among their very own people. His name was Hūd, peace be upon him.
O my people, worship Allah. There is no God for you other than Him.
And Hūd was not a foreigner, not a stranger, not an outsider coming to lecture them. He was one of them. He knew their streets, their language, their customs, their faces. He had walked the same roads they walked, and every single day he carried the same message to his people, simple, direct, and urgent. O my people, worship Allah alone. Turn away from these idols. There is no God worthy of worship except Him. And I am warning you about a punishment that is coming, something so severe that your minds cannot even begin to comprehend it. And every single day they rejected Him. The chiefs of Ad, sitting on their thrones of gold and silver, surrounded by wealth and servants, would hear Hūd's words and burst into laughter. One of them once said with full sarcasm dripping from every word, "If what you're saying had any real weight to it, our palaces would have fallen by now." Children would mock the way he spoke. Grown adults would cross to the other side of the street when they saw him coming, not because they hated him, but because some small part of them was afraid that if they looked him in the eyes long enough, something might break open inside them. Some feeling they had worked very hard to bury. One day, Prophet Hūd walked directly into their grand assembly, the most powerful gathering of Ad's leaders. He stood before men who held the fate of entire cities in their hands, and he said to them, calmly and without fear, "Look at the universe around you. Look at the order Allah placed in creation. Your strength, all of it, is nothing compared to His power." The chiefs looked at one another, and then they laughed. "Stop making these little threats," one of them said. "If punishment comes, we'll stop it ourselves, with our own hands." This was the moment the door truly closed, not when the storm arrived. The door closed the moment those hearts hardened beyond the point of return. Then the signs began, subtle at first, the way all serious warnings are before they become undeniable. One night, a deep and unusual sound moved through the valleys of Ad. There was no thunder, no lightning, just a low, eerie resonance, like something calling from very far away. The people heard it and shrugged. "That's just the mountains," they said. But Prophet Hūd heard it differently. He told his people, "That is not a natural sound. That is a warning, a final one." The night after that, the ground trembled. Not violently, gently, just enough to unsettle the animals, who began pacing and crying out in distress. The humans noticed and did what they always did. They laughed. "Even the earth is intimidated by us," they said. They had no idea that the trembling beneath their feet was the earth making its final, desperate objection before the verdict came down. Then the drought arrived. And this was no ordinary dry spell. For 3 full years, not a single drop of rain fell on the land of Ad. In the first year, they were dismissive. They were a powerful people, after all. A little dryness was nothing to them. In the second year, the rivers ran thin, the wells dropped lower, the animals began to suffer, and the proud voices of Ad grew quieter. The laughter that had once echoed off their stone palaces became less frequent. By the third year, it stopped entirely. The thirst was real now. painful and humbling and impossible to argue with. Empty water vessels clattered against walls. Gardens that had once been the pride of the city curled up and died in the dust. And the voices that had once claimed they could shake the sky, those voices had gone completely, utterly silent. It was in that silence that some of them finally came to Prophet Hūd. And when he looked at them, he did not feel satisfaction. He felt grief. He told them quietly, "The time of the punishment is now very close." Then the sky offered them one final choice. 3 clouds appeared on the horizon, one red, one white, one black. A voice called out, "O people of Ad, choose one." The leaders looked and chose the black cloud without hesitation. "That one has water in it," they said, suddenly excited. "That's where the rain is. That's our relief." What they chose was not relief. The sky went dark, the air dropped cold, and the people of Ad, completely misreading what was happening, began to celebrate. They danced, they cheered, they pointed upward and shouted that the rain had finally come. It was not rain. The first gust hit, and the world changed instantly. Dust and stone were ripped from the ground and thrown through the air at speeds that stripped skin from bone. The wind didn't just blow. It hunted. Every gust felt intentional, precise, as if it knew exactly what it had come to erase. The second wave came, and ancient trees that had stood for hundreds of years were torn from the earth and sent spinning into the air like twigs. Animals vanished into the storm. Every idol they had ever worshipped, every garden they had ever cultivated, every statue and monument they had ever erected in their own honor, gone, shattered, swallowed by the howling darkness. Then the third wave came, and this time it took the people themselves. Those massive, towering bodies, the ones that had inspired so much fear and pride, were lifted off the ground and hurled through the air like hollow, empty reeds. The Quran describes it exactly that way, like hollow trunks of date palms, thrown aside and forgotten. And those legendary palaces, those towers that had once seemed to hold the sky on their shoulders, they crumbled, and the desert sand swallowed them completely, as if they had never existed at all. For 7 nights and 8 days the storm did not stop. It did not pause. It did not rest. It continued until there was nothing left to continue against. When the wind finally died, the silence that followed was absolute. No palace, no pillar, no throne, no golden hall, no boastful voice saying, "Who is more powerful than us?" Nothing. Just the open, empty, indifferent desert stretching in every direction. But here is the part of the story that fills the heart with hope. The small group of believers. The people who had stood beside Prophet Hūd through years and years of mockery, isolation, and social rejection. They survived. Allah guided them to safety in the mountains, sheltered from the destruction that consumed everyone else. And when Hūd, peace be upon him, stood at the edge of the valley and looked down at what remained of the city of Iram, his eyes filled with tears. These were people he had known personally, people he had loved and pleaded with and warned over and over again for years, and now they were sand. He said softly, "Pride always ends in destruction, and turning away from Allah always ends in ruin. Here is something that will stay with you. The city of Iram, that ancient legendary city of lofty pillars, is still buried under the sands of the Ahqaf desert today. In 1992, satellite imaging and archaeological research uncovered evidence of a massive ancient city buried beneath the sands of southern Arabia, in the exact region the Quran describes. Researchers were genuinely stunned. What had been called myth for centuries had coordinates. Iram is real, it is buried, and it is silent. A permanent witness pressed into the sand, whispering to every generation that walks above it, "True honor does not come from power or wealth. It only comes from humility before the one who gave you everything." So what does this story mean for us? Ad had everything, and they lost it all, not because they were weak, but because they forgot the one who made them strong. Don't let that be our story. If this video moved something in you, please hit the like button. It genuinely helps more people find this content. Drop a comment below and tell me which nation's story you want to see next. And if you're new here, subscribe and turn on the bell so you never miss an episode. This is not just a story. This is a reality. A reality that reminds every single one of us. When arrogance fills a heart and injustice fills a land, Allah removes it from this earth. May Allah keep our hearts humble. May He protect us from pride. And may He make us among those who hear the warning and before the wind comes. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.